In my last video, I showed you the one thing that every $1 million ecom brand has: predictable demand. How to find products that people are already searching for and capture the demand instead of paying to create it. In this video, I'm going to show you the next steps now that you found the demand, and I'm going to show you the exact system to scale it. Almost nobody in this space is doing this because everybody's too scared to show their actual strategy because you're going to get results and they want to charge you for it, which is fair enough. But I'm not going to be doing that. I'm just going to be showing you guys exactly what to do in order to get results. I'm going to tell you guys exactly what actually moves the needle, because most of it is the opposite of what you'd actually expect. If it's not the ads, it's not some clever little campaign hack, the thing that decides whether you scale or not, most likely something that you've never even heard of, something that you don't have to always spend money on. So let me show you the system in order and exactly where the real leverage is. So the truth is that most people who do ecom, they just find a product on Calidata, they put it on their own store, and then they just rip that product. And then people above that level, they do like branded drop shipping. But the operators, the real operators who are doing 8 and 9 figures, they are the ones who think like operators and they work on the business, not in the business. In order to do that, what you have to do is first make a system. Let's say if you're in the beginning stages, right? You want to make a system to test 5 to 10 products per week. What's involved in that? Well, first of all, you have to do your product research. You have to know what products are actually going to work, which I've broken down in other videos. You have to choose your products, make it into a landing page. And once you have the landing page, you want to get the creatives for it, get the ad copy, connect it to your store, and run the ads. That's it. And as long as you have the KPIs that are going to tell you whether it's going to be a good product or not, then you're going to know, okay, do I keep running this product or do I kill it? If you're going to keep running it, then you can introduce more systems that you can use to scale down the track, introduce omni-scale, and that's how you're really going to scale. But the truth is that most people who think of e-commerce, even a lot of people with 7-figure brands, right? They think, oh, you know, I can only do one product. I have to have a one product store. They either think that extreme, or they think, oh, I have to do like a general drop shipping store, which I just had a call with someone actually about that the other day. I said to him, look, listen, I've been doing this for a few years now. I've done over 8 figures in revenue, right? Myself and all the other people I know, they don't do general drop shipping stores. They don't just do one product. They may have a hero product on their store, but let's say it's a supplement store. They have one product that's doing well, and then they also will test other products in that niche they know is doing well, because it's going to add more money to your revenue. You're going to get more customers, more subscribers, and it's just going to give you more overall value and LTV long term. That is the key. The other thing is that the more products you test, the more opportunities that you're going to get, and also the more data that you're giving to your pixel. So even if you test a product for 3 days, it doesn't hit your KPI, what you can do is you can just test another product. All that data that you got from that pixel is still going to go and feed all your other products that are doing well. It's just going to be a continuous loop of getting more and more data, because at the end of the day, when you're paying ads, you're paying for data. You're obviously paying for the purchase too, but you're paying for data. The other thing I would say is AOV. So a lot of people overstress AOV, but especially if you're doing subscriptions, which if you're not, I highly recommend you do. It's pretty much the only way that you're going to have a profitable brand right now in ecom. You can do straight sale, but it's a lot harder. So let's say you are doing a subscription brand. Your AOV does not matter as much as what you would think, because you can be selling a product for $29.99 on the front end and your rebill is $39.99. Now you're making all of your money on the back end, so you can afford to go negative in the beginning. You can afford to go, you know, at a negative 10% or 20% margin. Now, obviously, it depends on the capital that you're willing to allocate. But for example, IM8, it's a supplement brand, the fastest ever brand from 0 to 100 million annual recurring revenue in a year. They did it in 10 months. They went heavily negative. Now, obviously, they have David Beckham, they have millions of dollars to dump into ads. I'm not saying that you should do the same, but you should be willing to go negative in the beginning in order to acquire as many customers as possible and build up your subscriber base, build up your LTV. And that's how you're going to not only get more cash flow, because the subscribers, the rebills, it's usually like a 75 to 85% profit margin, but then also your LTV, exit profitability, is going to go up like crazy. So instead of just a 1 to 2x profit multiple, you're now going to be able to exit for 5 to 8x of your profit. So let's say you made $1 million in a year. If you want to exit that brand and all your numbers looking good, you're going to be able to exit for 5 to 8 million. That is why it's very important to have subscriptions and, you know, not worry too much about your AOV. If if you want to fix your AOV, you can add some upsells that are going to increase it. You can also offer a bundle that, you know, has a good offer as the final one, so it makes people more likely to click. Yeah, so next thing is omni-channel, right? So a lot of people just run Meta ads or they just run Google. Now, you need to be running all the channels in order to get the most results. You know, obviously, if you're doing Google, you've never done it before, I'd recommend getting an agency just to see their structure. Once you have their structure, there's no reason that you can't do it yourself. And if you guys do need a person to run your Google ads, I do have a very good connect. I've known this guy for a few years. He's a killer. He runs brands doing 100 million a year, so he knows exactly what he's doing, right? You know, the other thing is when you're scaling, you want to make a system to test as many ads as possible, and you also want to have the different engines. So the 4 engines to get to anywhere from 2 to 10 million a month is the creative engine, landing page engine, media buying, which to be honest is a lot simpler now than what it used to be, the content, right? So the content is the UGC creators, which, you know, is still important because you want to have like real faces and little micro influencers behind your brand, but it's not as important as what it was before. That is a system that you guys should follow in order to get results. At the end of the day, it's up to you if you want to do it, but that's what I really want you to think about. So to summarize, you want to pick a niche, you want to have a niche store, you want to make a system to test 5 to 10 products a week. Once you're scaling, you want to introduce omni-channel, you want to focus on subscription, you want to continue to test new ads and develop those engines that I was talking about. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.